Hey there, everybody. Good morning from the CNN Center in Atlanta, Georgia. This is CNN Sunday morning for this July the 18th. Good morning to you all. I'm TJ Holmes. 8 a.m. where I sit here in Atlanta, Georgia. 7 a.m. in New Orleans. 5 a.m. out in San Jose, California. Wherever you may be, thank you for being here. And the picture, it continues to be a good one. It's good because no oil is coming out. Still, we've got a long recovery road, but still, we are headed in the right direction, it appears, because the cap continues to hold in the Gulf. But still, the government wants to do some more testing. We'll explain. Also, this morning, for whatever reason, these folks are jumping into the water. And then they're going to get out of the water and hop on a bike. And then they're going to get off the bike, and then they're going to run. I have no idea what would cause people to do such a thing. The triathlon, New York Triathlon, getting underway right now. 1 mile swim, 6 mile run, 25 miles on the bike. Among them are Dr. Sanjay Gupta. We'll tell you what our team is doing this morning. But let me give you a look at some of the stories making headlines from overnight and several disturbing stories from overnight, including one out of Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, where 10 people were wounded in shootings, 3 different shootings. The victims are between the ages of 10 and 18 years old. We're told that none of them, though, have life-threatening injuries. Several people were detained and arrested yesterday, but this gunfire started after crowds of people were leaving a concert that was part of the annual Indiana Black Expo. Also, we'll take you near Baghdad now, where at least 43 people are dead, 40 others injured after a suicide bomb attack. Authorities say the bomber was apparently targeting former Sunni militants who now support the Iraqi government. Also, just a short time ago, we got pictures of the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. There she is. She's beginning her latest diplomatic mission, arriving in Pakistan. This is a trip that's going to take her to several Asian countries. After the trip to Pakistan, meetings there, she's going to move over to Afghanistan for an international conference. We're going to be going live to Pakistan here in just a bit. Meanwhile, we are on day 90 now of the Gulf oil disaster, and still, so far, so good as far as capping the leak goes. They're keeping a close eye on the pressure right now, the pressure of that pipe, now that the cap is on, because as it continues to go up, confidence goes up as well. Now, they had planned on doing this testing for 48 hours. That 48-hour deadline to test the integrity of that well expired yesterday afternoon. But now the government wants to continue. NBP wants to continue as well, testing for a while. They're at about 6,700 PSI, pounds per square inch in pressure. They want to get that up a little higher, ideally somewhere around 7,500 and above would be ideal, to let them know that this well is holding and that no oil is leaking out. Now, this containment process is going to resume as soon as the testing stops. When I say containment process, they're going to reopen some of the valves on the cap, attach some pipes essentially, and then siphon up the oil to surface ships and start collecting once again. One other note here, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, is going to be heading back to the Gulf Coast region on Friday. She's going to be there officially to christen a new Coast Guard cutter. Our Reynolds Wolf has been covering this Gulf Coast disaster for us from the very beginning. Reynolds, good morning to you once again. The testing continues. Why did they make the decision to continue testing for a little past their own 48-hour deadline?
Well, because they know this is so crucial. They know that they just want to make sure everything is going to be in tip-top shape before they go to the next step. What you were talking about earlier, what also Admiral Thad Allen mentioned yesterday, that they'll start pumping the oil back up to the surface. They're just making sure things are fine. You know, TJ, you also mentioned the PSI numbers. What we wanted those numbers to go up. They certainly haven't reached the level that the scientists were anticipating, but as long as they're moving in the up fashion, that's great. The opposite, moving down, would certainly indicate there is some kind of an issue, possibly some leaking someplace, somewhere, and even, heavens forbid, possibly a rupture underneath the ocean floor. So they're going to watch it very carefully. One thing to mention, though, is if they do take that procedure of pumping the oil to the surface, there will be some seepage. There will be some oil back into the Gulf of Mexico that is going to come from those valves at the very top of the containment dome. But even that is going to be temporary as they bring the oil to the surface. But as we show you this animation, the thing is really going to be the key to stopping this altogether is going to be the relief wells. And as of yesterday, they were within 5 feet of reaching an intersection from the drilling point to the oil well itself. Now, when it gets to that point, then it'll take possibly several days, perhaps even several weeks, to really stop that flow with a combination of mud and concrete. And then, and only then, when we have those 2 relief wells dug and completed, that should really be the end of this leak. But still, you know, it is quiet. And I had to tell you, not seeing oil out of there, this is my 9th trip to the Gulf of Mexico to cover this story. This is obviously the best time we've had so far, knowing that at least there is some end, at least it appears that way, TJ, an end to this horrible story.
Yeah, and again, we know we got the recovery that's going to be going on for years, quite frankly, that we're going to have to deal with.
Oh,
but
yes.
Right now, it's so important that at least we have it capped. I mean, how is the mood continuing to change there, Reynolds, in New Orleans and along the Gulf? You know, we've got the first step. It appears maybe, not a sure thing yet, but it appears we got the first step under control, the most important, which is just to stop oil from coming out.
Absolutely. But I mean, at the same time, there are a lot of seafood companies that have closed shop, and who knows if they'll ever open up again. I will tell you that in terms of tourism here in New Orleans, it's been nuts. You got people all over the place. They have all kinds of conventions here in town, so they're doing pretty good, all things considered. I can also tell you that the number of people back into Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Perdido Key, even in Pensacola, there are some people that are slowly beginning to come back. Just the idea of being able to flip on the television set, be it CNN or whatever the source might be, it better be CNN. They're going to be seeing, again, just the sight of no oil just coming out of that well is certainly an indicator. It's certainly a great thing. It's a motivating thing to bring people back to the coast, and that is certainly great for a lot of the businesses. A multi-billion-dollar industry, tourism here along the Gulf Coast. TJ? All
right, Reynolds Wolf doing his reporter duty and his PR duty to CNN this morning. Reynolds, we appreciate you as always, buddy.
You bet,
Talk
man.
to you again here shortly. Well, the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is on a very important strategic mission right now. She is visiting several countries in Asia. First stop is Pakistan, then it's off to Afghanistan. Our Reza Sayah standing by live for us. He is there for us in Pakistan. Reza, good to have you with us as always. Remind our viewers just how critical this partner is to the United States.
Yeah, Pakistan is a huge partner in the fight against extremism in this region. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arriving here 12 noon local time about 5 hours ago. And all indications are, TJ, for the next 24 hours, she's going to be going on an all-out charm offensive to win as many hearts and minds here in Pakistan as possible, to close the trust deficit that exists here, to bolster Pakistani-U.S. relations. Of course, it's Washington's position that there's never going to be any progress, never going to be any success across the border in Afghanistan without the help of Pakistan, without Pakistan doing more against extremists on this soil. But for the U.S., getting Pakistan to do more hasn't always been easy, and that is because anti-American sentiments are widespread here, and there's a huge trust deficit between the U.S. and Pakistan, and that's why Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is here to chip away at that anti-American sentiment, to close that trust gap. And how she plans on doing it is by hanging up billions of dollars of U.S. aid approved by the U.S. Congress. This is $7.5 billion of aid in the so-called Kerry-Lugar bill, and a senior U.S. official telling CNN that tomorrow morning here in the federal capital of Islamabad, Secretary